15 coronation moments that backfired on Camilla, and one of them got Britain compared to Moscow by Human Rights Watch. 64 arrests, people detained before they'd even lifted a sign. An international human rights organization looked at Camilla's coronation and said, "This is what you'd expect in Russia, not London." That wasn't even the worst part of her day. On the morning Camilla got her crown, guess who was trending worldwide? Diana. 3 times higher than Charles, on his own coronation day. I'm breaking down all 15 backfires, the arrests, the empty crowds, and the moment Diana dominated from beyond the grave. What made moment 15 the one Camilla will never recover from? This wasn't a crowning, it was a public verdict. Let's get into it. Number 1. The arrests that got Britain compared to Russia. Here's the backfire from the beginning, the one that made international headlines for all the wrong reasons, the one the palace has been trying to bury ever since, the one that turned a day of supposed celebration into a global embarrassment. 64 arrests. The Metropolitan Police confirmed it. But here's the part that shocked international observers. 6 Republic organizers were detained before the ceremony even began, picked up hours before they could even unfold a banner, arrested in a preemptive strike against peaceful protest, arrested not for what they did, for what they might do in a democracy, in the United Kingdom, in 2023. People arrested for crimes they hadn't committed yet, for protests they hadn't started, for signs they hadn't raised, for words they hadn't spoken. Human Rights Watch issued a statement, and I want you to really hear this. They compared the crackdown to something you'd expect in Moscow, not London. Read that again. Let it sink in. An international human rights organization, one that monitors authoritarian regimes in North Korea, China, Iran, and Russia, looked at what happened at Camilla's coronation and said, "This belongs in that category. This is the kind of behavior we document when we're investigating dictatorships." CNN reported it. Al Jazeera covered it. Time magazine documented it. The New York Times ran stories. International outlets that would normally cover the pageantry were instead covering the crackdown on civil liberties. The story was supposed to be Camilla crowned queen. Britain celebrates. A new era begins. The story became police arrest peaceful protesters at royal event. Civil liberties violated. Democracy questioned. Is Britain still a free country? She didn't just fail to win hearts that day. The heavy-handed attempt to silence critics made her look worse, made the monarchy look scared, made the whole institution look desperate and fragile, like they knew they couldn't win the argument on merit. So they tried to stop the argument from happening at all. And the world noticed. The world always notices when you arrest people for holding signs. The world always remembers when a democracy gets compared to an authoritarian regime. And the comparison actually fits. Number 2. The largest anti-monarchy protest in modern history. Republic, the Anti-Monarchy organization, planned their biggest demonstration ever. They announced it weeks in advance, applied for permits, made their intentions crystal clear. The palace knew, the police knew, everyone knew. And still, thousands showed up. Over 1,500 confirmed protesters at multiple locations across the coronation route. The day that should have represented unity, tradition, the continuation of a 1,000-year institution. And thousands of people showed up for one purpose, to say no. Not hidden away, not silent, loud, visible. The largest organized anti-monarchy protest during a coronation in modern British history. Not my king, not my queen. Signs held high enough for the cameras to capture. Graham Smith, the CEO of Republic, standing in plain view. The monarchy's PR team had one job, make this look like a celebration. And in the wide shots, the ones broadcast around the world, those signs kept appearing, reminding Camilla that the crown doesn't come with love attached, but the viewership numbers. They proved something even more damaging. 9 million people chose Elizabeth's funeral over Camilla's crowning. And wait until you see what Harry did the moment the ceremony ended. Number 3, 9 million fewer viewers than Elizabeth's funeral. The official numbers came in. Barb, the official UK ratings body, confirmed it. Peak viewership, 20.4 million. Queen Elizabeth II's funeral, just months earlier, drew 28 million viewers. 9 million more people watched Elizabeth being buried than watched Camilla being crowned. 9 million. That's not a small gap. That's a chasm. That's the British public voting with their remote controls. Elizabeth's coronation in 1953. Over 20 million viewers when there were only 2.1 million television sets in the entire country. People crowded into neighbors' homes, gathered in pubs, watched together because it mattered. Camilla's coronation? In an age when everyone has a screen in their pocket, millions simply chose not to watch. They had access. They had time. A national holiday was declared, and they still couldn't be bothered. Number 4. The mall looked different. Elizabeth's coronation in 1953. The mall packed with humanity. People sleeping on sidewalks for days to secure a spot. A sea of faces stretching to the horizon. Camilla's coronation, smaller, visibly smaller. Street parties that had been planned for months were canceled across the country. The photographs tell the story. Side-by-side comparisons went viral. 1953 versus 2023. A nation that couldn't wait to celebrate versus a nation that had other things to do. In 1953, an estimated 3 million people lined the route. In 2023, police estimated around 200,000. If this coronation had truly captured the public imagination, if people truly wanted to be part of this moment, the crowds would have been overwhelming. They weren't. Number 5. The sky opened up. They planned for everything: security, timing, guest lists, camera angles, months of preparation, everything except the weather. It rained hard. The Met Office had warned them. 70% chance of showers, temperatures around 57 degrees. They could have adjusted. They didn't. Elizabeth's coronation in 1953, sunny. Crowds celebrating under blue skies. A nation united in joy. Camilla's coronation, gray, wet, miserable. The crowds that did show up huddled under umbrellas. The golden carriage looked like a sad parade float. Pathetic fallacy, the English teachers call it, when the weather reflects the mood. And the mood that day, the sky knew exactly what the public was thinking. We're halfway through, but the next 10 backfires proved this wasn't just a bad day. It was a verdict. The Commonwealth didn't care. The polls didn't budge. Harry couldn't wait to leave, and by moment 15, Diana won, again, from beyond the grave. Number 6, Harry's flying visit. Prince Harry attended. He flew across the Atlantic. He sat in Westminster Abbey. He watched his stepmother receive the crown. Then he left. No balcony appearance, no family photographs, no staying for the celebrations. Roughly 24 hours in the country, just long enough to be seen, not long enough to matter, just long enough to fulfill the bare minimum of what duty required. He arrived alone. Meghan stayed in California with the children. He sat in the 3rd row, not with the family, not where a prince should sit, not where Diana's son deserved to be. The moment the ceremony ended, he was gone. His plane was wheels up before the champagne was poured, before the celebrations began. Before the family gathered for the traditional balcony appearance, Diana's youngest son showed up just enough to fulfill whatever obligation he felt, and not 1 second more. His body was there. His heart was clearly somewhere else. His message was unmistakable. Everyone watching knew exactly what that silence meant. Number 7, the Commonwealth didn't care. 14 countries outside the UK recognized the British monarch as head of state. The Commonwealth realms, from Canada to Australia to Jamaica, their enthusiasm for Camilla's coronation? Muted, barely perceptible. Smaller delegations than previous royal events, less fanfare, less media coverage. And here's what the palace doesn't want to talk about. Belize has pledged to transition to a republic. St. Kitts and Nevis announced the same. Jamaica is actively discussing the process. Antigua and Barbuda has set a referendum timeline. The coronation was supposed to demonstrate the monarchy's continued relevance across the globe. Instead, it highlighted how many former colonies are counting down the days until they can leave. Camilla wasn't crowned queen of a grateful empire. She was crowned queen of a shrinking club heading for the exit. Number 8, the polls didn't move. Before the coronation, YouGov polled the British public. 64% expressed little or no interest in watching. The majority said they simply didn't care. That should have been a warning. After the coronation, the numbers didn't improve, not even slightly. The spectacle changed nothing. The pageantry moved no one. The centuries of tradition impressed exactly 0 skeptics. Among young people, 18 to 24, 75% expressed no interest. 3/4 of the next generation looked at this centuries-old ritual and felt nothing. No excitement, no curiosity, just indifference. This is the demographic that will determine whether the monarchy survives the next 50 years. And 3 out of 4 of them looked at Camilla's crowning moment and shrugged. The whole point of spectacle is to change minds, to transform skeptics into supporters, to create emotional connection where none existed before. Camilla's coronation converted no one. If anything, it confirmed what people already believed. Number 9. The title controversy. Queen Consort. That's what the late Queen Elizabeth wanted Camilla to be called. That was the official designation. Elizabeth stated it publicly, but somewhere along the way it became Queen Camilla. The palace changed it, against Elizabeth's expressed wishes. Watch how people actually use it. News anchors stumble over it. Writers put it in quotation marks. The public says Camilla, or just avoids the title entirely. Queen Diana was a phrase people wanted to say. They imagined it, they wished for it, they mourned that it would never happen. Queen Camilla is a phrase people tolerate. It's technically correct. And it feels wrong in the mouth of anyone who remembers Diana. The title exists. The acceptance doesn't. Number 10, Elizabeth's shadow. The comparisons were inevitable, and they all favored Elizabeth. Elizabeth's coronation, 20+ million watching with 2.1 million TV sets, people gathering at windows to catch a glimpse. Camilla's coronation, 20 million with unlimited access and a screen in every pocket. Elizabeth's funeral, 28 million viewers. Camilla's coronation, 20 million viewers. More people watched Elizabeth leave than watched Camilla arrive. Elizabeth's reception, tears of joy, national unity, genuine celebration. Camilla's reception, protests, arrests, indifference, canceled street parties. The coronation was supposed to establish Camilla as a queen in her own right. Instead, it reminded everyone of the queen they'd just lost, and how far short this moment fell. We're almost there. But moments 11 through 15 are the ones that should keep Camilla awake at night. The memes were brutal. The world watched differently. And Diana? She dominated her own coronation from beyond the grave. Number 11. Diana dominated social media. This is the backfire that should have broken her, the one that proved the crown can't buy what matters, the one that showed Camilla exactly where she stands and always will stand in the hearts of people around the world. May 6, 2023, Camilla's coronation day, the day that was supposed to be entirely about her, the day 50 years of waiting and maneuvering and reputation rehab finally paid off. The day she would step out of Diana's shadow forever. The day she would prove the critics wrong once and for all. So what was trending on social media that morning? Diana. Over 193,000 tweets with the hashtag #Diana in just 4 hours. 3 times more than #King Charles. 3 times more engagement for a woman who's been dead for 26 years than for the man being crowned King of England. Diana memes flooded every platform. Diana comparisons dominated every conversation. Diana is rolling in her grave. Diana would never. The wrong woman is wearing that crown. The Queen of Hearts is watching from heaven. One meme went viral around the world. Diana's face with the caption, "Tell Charles I want him to know it was me." Over 260,000 views, shared hundreds of thousands of times across Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, liked by people who had never met Diana but still felt connected to her story. Millions of people were watching the coronation and thinking about the woman who should have been there instead. On her biggest day, the day she'd waited half a century for, Camilla wasn't the main character of her own coronation. Diana was. 26 years dead and still commanding more attention, more love, more engagement than the woman actually being crowned queen. And there was absolutely nothing Camilla could do about it. Nothing money could buy, nothing PR could spin, nothing the palace could manufacture. She got the crown, Diana got the conversation. Number 12. The memes were brutal. The internet didn't watch with reverence. The internet watched to mock. Diana memes dominated everything. The viral one, Diana's image with "Tell Charles I want him to know it was me," crossed 260,000 views. Memes comparing Camilla to villains. Memes showing Diana's ghost appearing behind the throne. The younger generation, the ones who will determine whether the monarchy survives, treated the coronation as content, entertainment, something to make fun of. That's not hostility. Hostility can be managed. That's dismissal. And dismissal is death for an institution built on reverence. When your coronation becomes a punchline, the crown is already lost. Number 13, the world watched differently. In 1953, the world watched with genuine curiosity. The British Empire still mattered. Britain was still a global power. In 2023, the American numbers tell the story. 10.3 million US viewers, and 80% were aged 55 and older. Only 360,000 viewers aged 18 to 34. The generation that will shape the future barely noticed it happened. The young didn't care. Anywhere. Not in America, not in Australia, not in Canada. International coverage focused on the protests, on the arrests, on Harry's awkward attendance, on Diana trending higher than the people being crowned. The story that reached global audiences wasn't Britain celebrates new queen. The story was coronation marred by controversy. The story was Diana still dominates from beyond the grave. Number 14. Kate wore Diana's earrings. This wasn't an accident, this was a message, a deliberate, calculated message that everyone in that abbey understood. On the day Camilla was crowned queen, Kate Middleton, the future queen, chose to wear Diana's earrings. The same earrings Diana wore to her own wedding. The same earrings millions of people around the world recognized instantly. The same earrings that screamed, "I haven't forgotten, we haven't forgotten." In an abbey full of carefully chosen symbols, Kate chose Diana. Everyone noticed, everyone understood. The woman who will one day replace Camilla on that throne made sure Diana was present in the room, made sure Diana's memory walked those ancient stones, made sure the world knew whose legacy she honors. A tribute everyone saw, a message everyone understood, a reminder that Diana's legacy lives on, in her sons, in her daughter-in-law, in the hearts of people who will never forget her. Number 15, Diana won again. This is the one I've been building toward, the backfire she'll never recover from, the verdict that will follow her for the rest of her life. Diana wasn't there. Diana has been gone for 26 years. Diana is buried at Althorpe, far from any throne room, far from any crown, far from the institution that failed her. And Diana was still everywhere. In the signs people held outside Westminster Abbey, in the 193,000 tweets that flooded social media, in the memes that went viral around the world, in Kate's deliberate choice to honor her memory, in the hearts of millions watching from around the globe. Camilla finally got the crown Diana never received, the title Diana never held, the ceremony Diana never experienced, the validation Diana was denied by the very family that betrayed her. And on the day Camilla was supposed to eclipse Diana forever, on the day the world was supposed to finally move on, Diana was all anyone could think about. 26 years after her death, Diana got more attention on Coronation Day than the woman being crowned. She trended higher on every platform. She was mentioned more in every conversation. She was loved more by everyone watching. That's not nostalgia. That's a verdict from millions of people who watched Camilla receive a crown and thought the exact same thing. She doesn't deserve it. She never will. She never can. The public gave Camilla the crown because they had no choice. Protocol, Tradition. What happens when you marry the king? The public gave Diana their hearts because she earned them, through warmth, through compassion, through being real in a way Camilla has never managed and never will. Camilla has the title Queen. Diana has the title Queen of Hearts. And on May 6, 2023, everyone watching knew which title matters more. Which crown is actually worth having? Which woman will be remembered with love long after the monarchy itself is forgotten? Diana won, again. From beyond the grave, 26 years later, still winning, still more loved, still more remembered, still more mourned, and Camilla has to wake up knowing that each single day. She has the crown, Diana has the love, and nothing, not time, not titles, not ceremonies, will ever change that. 15 coronation moments that backfired, from Britain being compared to Moscow, to Diana dominating from beyond the grave. This wasn't a crowning, it was an exposure, a verdict delivered by millions of people around the world. Diana won that day. But there's one person who watched all of this happen, who sat in that abbey knowing exactly what his mother would have thought. Click here to discover why Prince William will never forgive Camilla. The truth finally exposed.